you who aren't part of the honors program, my name is Rachel Stanley. I'm the assistant director of the honors program, and I'm here to introduce our speaker tonight, Dr. Robert Thomas. I had a more formal introduction prepared, but he was like, oh my gosh, is this that formal? I was going to be more informal. So then I would feel weird giving a formal talk. So let me just tell you a little bit about him. He completed his undergraduate studies at Rockhurst in Kansas City, and then went to Oklahoma State University's College of Osteopathic Medicine, and then his residency was at Akron General Medical Center in Akron, Ohio. Do you like that I know all this? He didn't tell me any of that. I stalked him. During his residency, he was chosen as Resident Teacher of the Year, Resident Teacher of Students' Choice, and Laparoscopic Surgeon of the Year. His research includes endometrial cancer and pregnancy, forceps use and training, and COX-2 inhibitors and prevention of ovarian cancer. But let me just tell you this. I think he's a fabulous doctor. After the Joplin tornado, I was 36 weeks pregnant and scared out of my mind. Couldn't get a hold of my doctor. I called Dr. Thomas, and he took me no questions asked, which is pretty unusual and not normal practice for most physicians, but Dr. Thomas isn't exactly normal. Right? He's state-of-the-art when it comes to medicine, but bedside manner is a lot more old-fashioned, and something that I really admire about him, and he's the kind of doctor and professional that I hope all of you will become. So, I'm going to stop talking because you're not here to listen to me, and let Dr. Thomas take over. Can you hear him?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me if I talk loud?
Yeah.
Ryan,
are you good?
Are you okay?
Go ahead.
Keep talking.
Can you hear me now?
Are you on? It's totally on. I
Can you hear
did.
me? Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
Couple things, that story is not quite true that Rachel told. The part about her coming to see me was, she came and told me it was, you guys, the tornado was terrible. How many are from everybody? I went to school here for a year and a half when I was probably your age, and I was not in the honor society, that's for sure. I played a lot more harder than I did, and I went back to school. And but Rachel, when the tornado hit, her grandpa is a doctor, he's an eye doctor. And he called me, probably when she was about 18 weeks pregnant, and said, hey, listen, will you see my granddaughter? And I said, most definitely. He's always taken care of me. He's a wonderful man. And talk about an old school kind of doctor with a good bedside manner. He's probably my favorite doctor of all time. And she never showed up. She didn't come. So she only needed me when the tornado hit. So that was kind of fun. The other part is that she told me tonight that I was supposed to talk about what it's like to be professional. I said, what is it talk about? She kept telling me, so I thought we were supposed to talk about STDs, so we can talk about either one. I'm a gynecologist, that's what it is. So. How many of you want to be, these are really way too bright, I can't see out there. Can you turn them down at all? I just can't see anybody except for you people right here. How many of you really want to be some type of professional medical field? Okay, that's quite a few. What about the other one? What, here for the honors program? Yes, so you're getting points is why you're here. I respect that. Again, I have a little bit different viewpoints. When I've talked to Rogers State before about this stuff. I've talked to high school kids about this a lot, just because it's kind of neat. I always thought the best thing to do is tell my story. And then we can kind of go over what it's going to be like when you go through. Medicine is ever changing right now. That is much better, thank you. Medicine is going to be totally different when you guys get out. If you chose to do what I do, if you're a senior this year, you got 9 more years. In 9 more years, it's going to be changing. To the point to where people now tell me that I don't know why you do medicine if you can't survive doing medicine. But 9 more years, I don't know what it's going to be like. But it's scary. It's scary from a point of view of what medical school costs, to the scary from the point for you what you can actually make. I looked at an article last night that was kind of interesting, and it said, medical school, should you go to school, go to college, get a degree, go get a job, make 50K a year, or go to medical school? They looked at happiness. They said the degree of happiness really truly stops, you stop getting happier once you make $75,000 a year. Average doctor salary, depending on what you do, can range anywhere from about 150, 800, a million. A lot of doctors, cardiologists, subspecialists, pediatric subspecialists that do thoracic surgeons can make very much money, a very big amount of money. I don't make anywhere near that. I'm somewhere in the middle. Okay, but it's a huge change. And what's going to happen in the next 9 years is your returns are going to get a lot worse. Let's talk about that going a little bit. My story first. I grew up in this area. I grew up in Anderson, Missouri. Anybody from McDowell County? There are no honor students in McDowell County. I will tell you that. I went to McDowell County in graduated in 1983 and thought I was going to be a basketball player. I'm 5'8", I'm a little short and fat. It wasn't going to work. So I ended up going to school. First off, I went to Southwest Missouri State now. Spent a year there and hated it. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Came to Missouri Southern, spent a year and a half here. Hated it. Didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I went back to Missouri State because I thought one more semester at a place that I hated, I could at least drink a lot more beer. That's what I did. I drank a lot of beer and I ended up in the Navy for 6 years. So I spent 6 years operating a nuclear reactor on a submarine out of Pearl Harbor. Okay. Sounds like a lot of fun. It's not. You're underwater. There's only men on a submarine. And that's not what I wanted to do. I'm a gynecologist, you can tell. That's what that being said, I grew up an awful lot at that time. My mom told me at one point that was the best choice I ever made. I will tell you that she's probably right. And I wish my kids, some of my kids, I have 4, would join the military because I think that would help them mature a little bit. But boy, at that time it was the worst decision. I knew it in 8 weeks out of boot camp. I was in the wrong spot. Send me back to college. I could drink a lot of beer in the Navy, but I just wasn't going anywhere. And I only had about, at that time I made $50 every 2 weeks. That's all I brought home, $50 every 2 weeks. And I know they say you make a lot more than that, but that was about it. Because when I paid my car payment, paid my insurance payment, I had $25 to go. And I'll tell you, in that time, in 1986, 87, before I got anything, beer was about 25 cents a drop. So I had a lot of beer money. So out of the Navy, I got married in my last year of the Navy, and started having kids right away. My wife at that time was a nurse. She graduated from Rockhurst College. I was searching. I had no idea what I wanted to do. My number one thing wasn't medicine. I never thought about being a doctor. Doctors are too smart. How are you? Do I know you? Yes. You're from Grove. Yeah. How are you doing? How are your mom? How are your sister? Yes. I knew it. Where was I?
Kids.
Going to school. So I got out of the Navy, had no idea what I wanted to do. Still, and my wife said, we need to go to medical school. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Does anybody want to be a lawyer here? The door right back. I'm just kidding. Doctors and lawyers don't get along. There are definitely some lawyers that are very good. So we need lawyers in today's society. And I think it's a great thing. I really thought about that for a while. Then at that point, my wife said, you need to go to school, go get a medical degree. So physical therapy. Anybody want to be a physical therapist? One. Doctorate program now, yes. Where do you want to go to school?
Either Rockhurst or Mizzou.
Rockhurst has got a great program up there. Kansas City's got a lot of neat hospitals. I spent about 6 months working in a hospital as a physical therapy transport person. And, I've already said that word many times. I hated it. Didn't want to do it. Doesn't mean you're not going to love it, but it wasn't for me. And I was in, just started school. I was with a kid that was from Kansas City, and he was pre-med. And he said, you're probably smarter than anybody. Why don't you go to medical school? I never thought about that. That's how I decided I was going to be a doctor. Somebody else thought that. I thought, well, just play with it. If I don't get a medical degree, I'm going to be a chemistry major. So I went through 3 years of Rockhurst. I have no college degree. I had about 170 hours of college. I had no college degree. I got accepted into medical school at Oklahoma State University Medical School. Probably was a godsend. I took the MCAT and I did okay. I did actually do very well at it. And my mom passed away. And I decided that I was going to go ahead and go to Oklahoma State. I accepted. This is the first thing we should talk about. You guys, how many want to be physicians? There's a few. Do you know what kind of physicians there are?
Family practice.
Family practice. Do you know the 2 different types of physicians?
Osteopathic
Osteopathic and allopathic. So DO and MD. And so that's where you first start making your choice on what you want to do. The difference really, and nowadays it's not a huge difference. In the old days it was quite a bit of difference. The allopathic way versus the osteopathic. Osteopathic way is more whole body healing. Your body can heal itself. So we actually train in chiropractic type medicine, and we train in allopathic type medicine. I still put people's hips in place that are pregnant. I still put their back in place when their breasts are so big during pregnancy that we put them back into place. They have back pain. So I still do some of that. I don't practice osteopathic medicine on it. But I think that there's definitely a great place for it. The body will heal itself. That's the whole difference. You spend about a year in osteopathic medical school, for 2 years, learning that. And that's changed a lot. Now you have to go and take practice on how to put people's back in place. When I was there, they just laid down a table, so this is how you do it. Boom, and back in. There's a whole different areas that you can go to in medicine. Oklahoma State, how many of you are Oklahoma State fans, by the way? Anybody?
You're in Missouri.
Where are you from? Where at? Jodo?
Both my siblings are OSU graduates.
They're pretty happy, aren't they, right now? Oklahoma State's what, 8 now, 10 now?
Yeah, they've been
They beat TCU this weekend. So yeah, Oklahoma State in the house, that's right. It's a very, very unique school. Most medical schools can range anywhere from 80 persons in a class to there are some medical school factories that put out about 250 to 300 students. First recommendation for you guys that want to apply to medical school, choose someone that's close to that 80 to 190, 120 range. I liked it. I went in there, I knew everybody at the campus, and that was a big deal for me. I got accepted to KU. I didn't know anybody. You walked in, it's a very different facility. And you went to a class at KU, there were less students in a class of 225 medical students, and the auditorium probably had 10 kids in it. They had a note service. We went to Oklahoma State, we walked in, there was probably 80 to 88 kids in the class every day. You got to know everybody. You got to lean on everybody. How many of you are older? How old are you? Yes, sir.
26. I didn't know how what we mean by older.
Well, I mean non-traditional students. How old are you? 26. I went back to medical school at 31 years old. And, see, they thought that was young. There was a kid, there was a guy I went to school with. Our first year of medical school, we celebrated his 50th birthday at Oklahoma State. So, pretty exciting. I just celebrated my 50th last year, so I'm glad I'm not in medical school. After medical school, the first 2 years of medical school have changed so much. Oklahoma State has changed theirs. I'm only going to reference them. Each medical school does a difference. There's about 50,000 applicants a year to medical school. There's about 25,000, is that right, spots? 25,000, maybe less than that, I'm not sure. About a few years ago, they increased the number of spots. They opened a couple new medical schools because there's going to be about a 30% shortage of physicians in the future. Family practice. I always say that when you do your interviews. Family practice. Huh? In a rural area. Exactly. No one paid for school. So Oklahoma State, good school. I want to talk to you about that though, a little bit. If we're going to talk about not only mine, we'll just intermingle it all together. Does anybody look at the cost of medical school? It's bad. Bad. Have you looked at, what year are you?
I'm a freshman.
What year are you? You said, someone you said, what year are you?
Junior.
Okay. Have you looked at all the shots and everything? I'm saying, I'm looking at a different profession. Oklahoma State, if you're in state. So there's some, definitely some colleges that are in state. $22,835 for in-state tuition for 1 year. Okay? Well, that doesn't count fees, books, supplies. They make you buy those little doctor bags and nobody carries them anymore. You have to buy those little things that you look in their ears. I have otoscopes, laryngoscopes. I haven't used one of those in I don't know how long. I have a stethoscope. I have a monitor that looks at baby's heart. I have a tape measure. That's all I need. And then I use an ultrasound. Okay. But $6,000 pretty much that first year for supplies. Living expenses, $18,000. Total cost of the first year, if you were lucky to live in Oklahoma, I'm not sure that's lucky. $48,094. And they did put 48 cents extra in there too, so that's pretty good. All right. Let's say you're from Missouri. You're from where?
Yeah.
Nevada. I like Nevada. And you get it at Oklahoma State. Great school. $45,000 to go to medical school at Oklahoma State. Have you looked at Mizzou?
Yep.
What's it cost?
It's
How
well,
much? 18 for tuition. A year. So $45,000. And if you add those other expenses back up in there, if you're an out-of-state medical student, and this is probably true of any out-of-state medical school, you're going to pay about $70,000 a year. Whew. That's pretty good.
You're supposed to be encouraging them,
No.
Dr. Thomas.
You said talk about the realities of it. This is the realities of it. If you did, because I actually still would do it. I'd still do it. That makes me simple. I'd still go to medical school. I like what I do. If you look at, when's the first time you get paid ever as a doctor? Anybody get an idea? As a resident. You know what I mean as a resident? $32,000 a year. That's a lot of money, actually. It's pretty good. You know how many, what loans I had at that time?
a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, 50 would have been nice. I will tell you right now that I am 15 years out of practice. I paid about $1,500 a month, every month, for 15 years. I have 4 years left to pay back. Yeah. So I'm just being honest. Here it is. It's an honesty thing. Why would I tell you that? Because if you choose medical school, you should choose medical school. If you choose law school, lawyers don't make that much money. If you choose, and I don't mean that bad, you can, so you know what kind of law you go into. If you choose nursing and you go to be a nurse practitioner, if you choose to be a nurse anesthetist, you have got a lot of deals here. Okay? You can't choose to do medicine because you want to make money. If you're choosing medicine to make money, you are choosing the wrong profession. And I say that for multiple reasons. Number one, you are going to make money, and you're going to be okay. But you will not make enough. You're going to go out, and you're going to pay off. I think I figured out what they told us in medical school. For every dollar you take out in a loan, you pay $3 to $5 back. Okay. I try to minimize how much I take out. I want to pay about $300,000 back. Is what I kind of figured out. Okay. Not a bad deal. I still like it. But if you don't like it, you should. It's not a money making thing. Okay. After medical school, so medical school first 2 years, looked over terrible, hated it, did good in it. I actually learned how to be a student when I was in the Navy. I hated college when I was your age. Even at 26, I hated college. But when I got out of the Navy, I learned how to operate a nuclear reactor. I went to 2 years of school, right? Because I hated school. I joined the Navy. I went to 2 more years of school. It didn't make sense. But I finished it, and I did, and it taught me how to study. I got out of medical school with about a 3.9. But I like that idea. I like the idea of taking care of women. Women, you really don't whine as much as men do. And I like that aspect of it too. Men don't come in the doctor very much. They come in, they're kind of needy. Women come in all the time, most of the time. They come in a lot. But it's usually because they need something. They're pregnant. They need some help. But I told obstetrics and gynecology. Probably in the middle of the road. You don't have to be the smartest doctor when you graduate. You don't have to be the dumbest doctor. What do they call the person that finishes last in medical school?
Doctor.
Doctor. Exactly. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I wasn't last, by the way. So. I went to a place called Auditorium. What you choose to do, we talked a little bit about allopathic osteopathy. If you want to do family practice and you want to learn the allopathic way, go to the osteopathic way. If you want to do osteopathic, you can go, or if you want to do just family, I hate to say that, so in a bad way. If you want to do just family practice, you can go to any medical school and do family practice. If you want to be a pediatric endocrinologist, pediatric neurosurgeon, a cardiothoracic surgeon, it's probably better if you choose to go to the allopathic route. Right now, those are all pretty much where those, once you graduate from schools, they fill their slots. Okay. I ran into that. I did 4 years of residency as an OBGYN, and I wanted to do gynecology. There's 17 slots. I think there's 16 slots at the time for gynecology. And what that is 3 more years of surgery research. And when I was 30, at that time I was 34 years old, 35 years old, and I was DO. There were no DOs in that time. There were no DOs in the whole program that I can look at. I had probably the best letters of recommendations I could ever get. All my professors over me, all my professional level doctors, the reproductive endocrinologists, oncologists, and great letters. I didn't even deal with it. Okay. I think that had to do with the osteopathic part. Yeah, it was probably better. I like what I do now. I wouldn't have to live with Rachel babies. So,
Highlight of his career.
But it's been 4 years. Residency is another thing to talk about for you guys, I think. I know you guys are not all medicine people, but this is what I do, so I'm going to talk about it. Residency is what the varsity do. Okay. They've changed it a lot. Instead of being able to work 120 hours a week, you only work 80. That doesn't seem like much, does it? 2 full-time jobs. So, then there are other rules. You go in there, you can only be there for 24 hours straight. My first 3 years, there was no rules. My first year of residency, I spent 105 hours on the average in the hospital a week. I went to work at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and wouldn't get home until the next night, 6 or 7 o'clock. And we didn't sleep. I was at a hospital that was considered a community hospital that did teaching. We had a lot of medical students. And I'd sit out there in front of these monitors, like the submarine did. That's why I thought I did pretty good at it. And you watch that guitar all night. And you fall asleep for a little bit and look back up. Just like the submarine. Homer Simpson. And then you jump up and you go into a C-section room because something happens. But that's what residency is like. They kind of changed the rules because of the safety. They thought it was safer for me to pay around 120 hours. Pretty scary because right now we're releasing they work 100 hours a week. And I think people that don't work and learn how to operate in emergency situations will not be very good. I work in Grove right now. Let's go back to that. So residency lasts for 4 years for me. Family practice is a 3-year residency. What do you want to do, Andrew? Family practice 3-year residency. If you want to be a surgeon, it's a 5-year, 4-year residency. If you want to be an anesthesiologist, it's 4-year residency. Internal medicine is a 3-year residency. Pediatrics 3 years. If you do cardiologist, almost all of us at some point have dealt with cardiologists. Cardiologists go and they do an internal medicine rotation or internal medicine residency. And then they do 2 or 3 years extra on top of that. I don't remember because I don't do that anymore. It's about 6 years. And the most I make is about 45, maybe more now. You may make 45 or something like that. It went up every year that I was there. I thought last year I did $40,000 when I was a 4th-year resident. I was like, I'm old. So the first time I made money in many years. It seemed like. If you look at that, then after that I went to Grove. I went to Grove for about 8 years. I was a solo practitioner, and then that means I had no partners. I had some guys I could cover with if we needed to. I delivered about 200 babies a year. This year I'll probably deliver over 300. Need probably about 4 to 6 surgeries a week. So that's about 300 surgeries a year. And so there's a lot. It's busy, and it's a lot of work. I have a nurse practitioner. How many of you want to go to nursing school? Nursing school? What do you say, doctor?
I looked into it.
Oh,
She's not full.
you realize that, yes, what I'm saying. Nursing school, a lot of nursing, I have nursing school here. Anybody here in nursing school? No? Yes? What do you want to do? More nursing, or do you want to go be a practitioner?
CRNA.
CRNA. And they are very good. Long hours, too. Long hours. We actually work with over 3 CRNAs. So a CRNA is a nurse anesthetist. Okay. They go to do their bachelor's of science in nursing, and that's what they do. Then you have to go basically, you should go practice for a few years, a couple years, whatever, and then they usually take it, and then you go into an advanced nurse practitioner degree. What is that, 3-year program?
Yeah.
3-year program? 2-3-year program. And then you go out and you sleep. Kind of what I'm doing to some of you right now. That's pretty much the pathway to medical school. To get into medical school, you got to go back a little bit. A lot of admittance tests, MCATs. Most of you guys have already did it, like taking it. You're junior and you're taking it?
No, next week.
Next grade? Okay. So that's kind of your entrance exam. Since most of you are really interested, I just don't know what to talk about it. What other fields are you guys interested in? Honor students. Chemistry, biology?
Dentistry.
Dentistry. Dentistry. Dentistry is another great profession. Much like medicine, it's an admission requirement for DCAT and very difficult. It's probably more difficult to get into dental school than it is medical school. Okay. Why? Because they really just work right here. I understand why it's hard. But it is. It's hard. They're very good at what they do. I have a lot of friends that are dentists. Grove. Where are you from?
Carthage.
Carthage. And you, sir?
Who, me?
Yeah, you said dentistry too.
Oh, no idea. I'm sorry.
Who said dentistry? Oh, you said
Mount Vernon, though.
Mount Vernon. Is anybody outside the states at all, like outside Missouri, Oklahoma? Anybody from far away?
We have some international students here.
Where from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil. How about you, man?
Texas, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, watch it.
You can't come in here for an Oklahoma lecture and do that. Do you have a Texas license plate out there on the car?
Yes, I do.
If I saw it, I'd probably turn it upside down.
You know what?
No. They did do Oklahoma this year, didn't they?
Hey, it's the past. It's the past. Well, my best friend.
You know, I really, truly, medicine is going to change. I heard you say at the beginning. Most of this right now is pretty scary. I'd say when I first came out, I mean, you might as well talk about it. The physicians have to talk about it, how they make money. You can't, I just told you, you're going to be $300,000 to $400,000 in debt. How do you make money? The insurance companies pretty much control you. That's the best thing about dentistry. They haven't got where they're controlling dentistry. Dentists can control their own price. Physicians buy into the insurance companies. Insurance companies set your price. It's hard. I don't know what you will do in the future. Because if you're going to pay off $300,000 long, and your reimbursements are going further and further down the hill, it's going to take you, when you're gone, because I'm old, it's going to take a long to pay that back. Hardest work you'll ever do. So, Mike, what do? Dentistry, nurse anesthetist, family practice, anything that you're going to do. Lawyers, it's going to be the longest part of your career if you get into it. But once you get through it, it will be a rewarding career. That's truly what you want to do. If you don't know to do it, what you're going to be a basketball coach. That's what I came to Missouri, so I'm going to be a basketball coach. You know, that college. okay. I did okay. So, MCAT, when I took the MCAT, there were 4 courses. I needed to change it a little bit, so the MCAT had a verbal reasoning. I'm from McDonald County. You cannot read Plato if you're from McDonald County. And there's Plato, there was Socrates. They had something about sports. I got all of it. So they had on this thing something about Aristotle. And I read it. And I couldn't do anything. I fell asleep. I didn't know that. So I made I think I made a 7 on it. And at that time, I think the top was was 13 or 14. My averages were 10. But so I did very well in the chemistry when I was part. You had your handwriting example.
Does it have to be terrible?
No. They couldn't read mine, so mine was They gave you a letter A to Z or something like that, and mine was S. I said, that's satisfactory. But it's a hard test. I would recommend anybody that's going to be a dentist. I don't know. I think you have to take the GRE. You have to take the GRE to do analysis. I don't. You may not have to. Some programs may require it. But definitely medicine. There are programs out there that you can go and take a course or review course. I don't know if you're an author here. Yes.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
When I took it was a CAS course, I believe. And they sit down with you, they go over things, and then you go over and you can write down your questions. And then you take test after test. And it kind of lets you know where you're at, what you need to study. I would recommend that. That way then when you go, it costs about $700 to $1,000. But it's money that's always spent.
You mean the course?
Of course. Because when if you walk into your MCAT cold, you'll walk out crying. Because it's all the chemistry stuff that you have to do. It's all the biology stuff. And they ask it in ways that are just very difficult. What kind of what are major? What are your majors?
Biology.
That's what mine was. So I don't have a degree. I have 170 hours, but I have a degree. Other questions?
Yeah, anybody have questions? Shoot away, fire away. Anyone?
So how long is medical school?
Medical school is 4 years.
And then 4 more years?
4 years residency.
Okay.
At one point, my kids laughed because I went to probably more school. I probably went to 75% of my life, 80% of my life was to school. And I used to laugh. I was 6 at the time. I just looked really hard. But that's true. One of my favorite stories is about what I did in residency. So this is my claim to fame. I have 2 claims to fame. One when I actually was on, or at least my name was on Daily Letterman. We had a hospital employee, and they sat down in this tub, and they looked at me, and they showed me putting my hand in it and draw somebody's name out to give the price to. And it had some caption, Daily Letterman, I didn't know what to do. But the other thing that I really did is I delivered sex silence. I delivered 6 baby ones. And there was about 100 of us, maybe 60 of us, I guess, 60 to 70 of us that were involved in that delivery. And at that time, it was only 8 set of, well, maybe less than that, 7 set of sex types that were in the States. And so that's my opinion. That's a really good raise. And it was pretty neat. Question, ma'am?
What advice do you have for interviews?
I can't hear you.
What advice do you have for interviews?
Interviews?
Yeah.
I want to do family practice in a rural area. Actually, I think the interview, that's a good question. So, it's honestly, I'll tell you, it's been a long time since I did it. But I did say exactly what I just told you, and I'm not laughing. I said that I thought I wanted to do primary care. I didn't say family practice, primary care. And I was from a small town, so that you can sell that. You have to sell yourself in any interview, whether you're going to get a job at Foot Locker, or whether you're going to go to Classic Magic School. You got to sell yourself. And so when you go in there, you just know. You tell them what you want to do. You talk to them about how something has to just shine about you. If you have 3,000 people to hear that I play, 4,000 people, 3,000 to 4,000 people applying to Oklahoma State, and there was 80 spots. It's pretty significant. So you have to make yourself shine. And I think the way that you do that is when you go in there, you say, what do you say? Well, you be honest to a certain extent. Or you can practice to a certain extent. The other part of it is is actually tell them, I went and volunteered. They'll come in, they'll have a doctor, say, well, so what did you do to prepare to say that you want to be a doctor? Well, I went and volunteered in a hospital. That's what I did. I volunteered, or I worked in a hospital for 2 or 3 years, transporting patients. You go and spend time with the doctor. If you want to spend time with the doctor, if you're going to go to osteopathic school, you have to actually have letters of recommendation from an osteopath. So you're going to have to go meet somebody and have them write a letter for you. So if you volunteer, if you work hard, I think athletes, anybody athlete here, athletes have, you guys have a full-time job. And if your grades are good and you do well at MCATs or whatever you're going to do, I think that's great. My daughter was a Rogers State University soccer player. She started in 4 years, and she told me every year she didn't know what she wanted to do. She kept going back, kept playing. 80 games possible, she started at 79 now. In order that she didn't start with other ones, she had a concussion. And she had a 3.8, 3.9 GPA. You guys, athletes have an in, I think, at that one, because you've done a full-time job. Medicine is a full-time job. Medical school is a full-time job plus. How many hours do you spend a week studying right now?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. A lot.
A lot. To me, a lot at that time was maybe a couple hours a night. When I got to medical school, I went in and I had a study group. I had 4 or 5 people, and one of them, again, really good for us. We just, every night we go over there. 5 hours. 7 to midnight, every night. Okay. That's what it is. You have to choose what you want to do. You have to love it. My favorite class, anatomy. I got to dissect a lady that was 87 years old. Still had her uterus. That's pretty amazing. 80-year-old women don't have their uterus. I take it out now. So. But it was pretty neat. You have to, it's a neat situation. Favorite class of all time. Get to dissect and learn about the anatomy. Somebody that donated their body.
Are any of you in the human anatomy or the dissection now? Yeah, we have a lab.
You do a cadaver lab? That's pretty interesting, pretty neat. Where are you at right now?
We're just starting the head and neck. Yesterday,
Head and neck.
Monday, we took the brain out.
Take the brain out? I wish I could come back after and sit in some of the classes. I like it. Okay. Other questions? Did I answer your question okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
With the direction medicine's going now, how do you feel about physician assistants?
I think that's a good question. So, and that's something I wanted to talk about, but I didn't. Nurse practitioners and physician assistants. They didn't want the points. I'm sorry. The question again was, say it again. My mind is going crazy. I delivered. I did 4 hysterectomies today. I did 5 surgeries, and I've had 4 babies, or 3 babies in the last 24 hours. So I'm a little sleepy. I'm really just facing anyway. It's a little bit more.
I'm just like, why are you just so young?
There are actually, I think, I take PA students and I teach them right now. I have them in my class. I think PAs are going to be great. I think that's where we're going to go. I think you're going to see PAs and nurse practitioners go all over. And we're going to see it because there is such a huge need. PAs are not as well trained when they first get out as nurse practitioners. And I don't mean that bad. And the reason I say that is because PAs go to school for 4 years, get their degree, they get accepted, so Missouri State has a program. Is it a 2.5-year, 3-year program? I believe. I can't remember. 2.5-year program, and I take their students. There are some students that come out very well prepared, and there are some that don't. And most of them aren't really interested in gynecology. There's not a lot of PAs in gynecology, but there are some that are very well prepared. Nurse practitioner students, usually they're in an area that they've already been exposed to. So if you're going to be a nurse anesthetist, you've been into you've been in the OR, and you've seen it, you like the OR. And so you know more about it. But I think in the long run, over time, I was in Utah. I went to Park City, Utah for a year and a half to practice medicine. Didn't like it and came back. But there was a couple of surgeons out there that were world class. I mean, took care of the USC team, took care of it. One of them was Harry Hyman. I will give anybody $5 for him, Harry Hyman is. You know who Michael Phelps is? Who's Michael Phelps? Swimmer. Whose record did he break about winning multiple medals? Harry Hyman. You can answer that. He was a speed skater, and I met him. But they all had PAs, and they were very good. And they would close, I think, surgical theaters. You know, Ashley Angel, anybody? Ashley is a scrub tech with me. I bet you she's going to be a surgical theater one of these days. She's very good at what she does, and you will learn. I think eventually those two will go out. Financial-wise, probably pretty similar money-wise. I think you'll do fine. I think PAs are where it's going to be in nurse practitioners because you're going to see less people, I think, going towards being doctors.
Well, what happens when there aren't any physicians to assist?
Well, if you look
If
at
all these students go to be assistants, who are they going to assist?
well, good question. I think if you look at the future, it will change. And it is in some states. You can practice independently as a nurse practitioner. I don't think PAs can do that at all anymore that I'm aware of. I don't know that. I don't follow
In
that.
Oklahoma, you can do it as long as you're supervising physicians there 20% of the time.
20%.
Is it you guys?
No babies. So yeah, I think eventually we'll get there. Eventually you'll, I like PAs. I just think that you have to go in, if you're going to do physical physician assistant, you have to go in there and say, I'm on my best I can. Yes, ma'am.
As far as the gap year between undergrad and getting med school, is that frowned upon as far
A
as?
gap year?
Yeah.
I think that, I don't think it's frowned upon. Again, look at me. I had 7 gap years. I was 18, 21, went to maybe 6 years. 3 months. I had 9 gap years. 9 gap years. So really, I don't think it's a frowned upon. I think it depends on where you want to apply. I had a good friend, or a guy, actually, good friend. I sold him my car, so we were friends at that time, who got into KU Medical School, and he applied for a year's deferred. And so if your grades are in order and your grades are in order, you have good MCAT scores, they're going to take you no matter what.
So in the gap year, what should be your main, if you have to take that gap year, what should be your focus as far as volunteering?
And again, I'm assuming when you say gap, you're just taking a year off.
Yeah, like a full academic year.
Okay, so here's my thought process. 2 biology majors, 2 else in medicine, pre-med. What are your majors?
Biology.
Biology. You know, one of my better friends, he met him at Rockhurst. He was a philosophy major. That's what he was. Okay. So here's what I recommend to everybody. Medical school, you said, what do you look for in the interview? You're looking for somebody that's different. So if you go, and I know I'm not answering the gap here, but if you love music, don't play the piano. Get your music stuff in college, take your prereqs. Each college, medical school, has a prereq. Okay? And they're looking for somebody different. There's going to be, out of those 3,000 people that applied to Oklahoma State, I bet you 2,500 from biology majors or science majors. So they kind of look for other people. As long as you've taken their prereqs. The prereqs usually are 2 years of chemistry, not 4 years of chemistry. Maybe physics, maybe calculus, some biology classes, those type of things. But if you really truly love, I say music, it's theater.
Thank you.
Theater. Go get a theater major. Okay. That's what I'd say. As far as the gap year, if you've done the things appropriately to that point, I don't think that you have to go and do anything different. I think you can say, listen, I just need a year off. You can explain that. I wanted to go see the world. I need to make some money so I can help myself get through the first 4 years. Okay? Whatever you want to do. if you don't, because again, like I said, you guys said you're athletes, you may not also get the chance to do as much volunteer time. The rules are a lot more stringent on what you guys can do. You're always working out, so you may have to have that with a volunteer. And that's a perfect thing, in fact, you have to do something like that. Yes, ma'am.
I had heard from somebody that had graduated from medical school a couple of years ago. They were working in a hospital and they told me that their hospital was going to help them pay off their student loan debt. They signed a contract. Is that like a normal thing or?
It depends. I think in rural America, it's pretty normal. In a big city hospital, it's not very normal. You
More
want,
like in the St. Louis area.
yeah, but again, if it's assigned to the hospital and what their specialty is going to be. There's a young lady that's going to come back and join me next year. She went to Grove High School. She went to Oklahoma State. You know, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, you're not then she went to Kirksville, another osteopathic school. And then she went to Texas Tech. But from her second year of medical school on, they paid a lot of money for getting back. So there's that opportunity. Oklahoma also has a program, and I don't know if Missouri does, but Oklahoma has a program where you can go in, and while you're in medical school, they'll give you so many, like when I was there, $6,000 the first year, $12,000 every year after that. As long as you go back and repay in rural Oklahoma. Primary care. So primary care, peds, internal medicine, family practice. Some people still consider OB/GYN, but it's kind of a specialty. Pretty much those three, and I think there's another one or two that you probably see in there. Not general surgery. So, yeah, there's options out there. You know what are better options? Join the service. They pay 100%. You give you a stipend. So, I mean, and I started 6 years in the Navy. I said I was on the submarine. I spent 70 days on the submarine in 6 years. I spent 4 years in Hawaii on the beach. So. And medicine
It
a lot
sounds
different.
so dramatic. You're like, I was on a submarine underwater with all men. Okay, for
You told me.
70 days, and then you're on the
70
beach.
days of all men. I'm
Like,
telling
come
you.
on.
70 days of all men.
Well, now you're 24/7 all men.
Were you on the beach with the same men?
Sometimes, yes. We drank a lot of beer down there. But no, I'm just saying there are other options. There are definitely ways to get it paid for. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have two, but the first one you kind of already answered. I'm pre-optometry, but I was wondering if it's doable to have a job and go to optometry school instead of medical school like this.
Medical school, I had some good friends that did that. They went the first 2 years. In your third and fourth year, and I can't really talk about what optometry school is like. I'll tell you, in medical school, it's very difficult. Unless you work on a weekend or something. This guy was a flight nurse. And he'd go sit in the flight deck at Butler and we'd study. He'd get called out, he'd go fly. And come back and study in the morning. But it's very difficult. You know, even your summer's off. You know, the first year you get a year off in the summer. The second year you get a month maybe off and you ride into rotations. So it's very difficult. Optometry school, where are you looking at?
Hopefully Power.
Alpha, I did it, so I know that's a good school. Oh, your second question.
So you said you were married your last year of the Navy before you got into medical school. So how was that starting a family and being in medical school and having kids?
Well, I said I wasn't married. That is something to talk about, really. Not a bad joke. We haven't talked about that, because all of them were 26 and 18. Somebody 18, right? 19. So if you think about it, life changes. Your whole life changes. Would you like to be married to somebody who works 100 hours a week? Not necessarily. Would you like to take care of 4 kids if you're with somebody that works 100 hours a week? Not necessarily. So it's very difficult. Divorce rate, what's the national divorce rate? Anybody have a 50%. If you look at physicians, I bet it's much higher. If you look at nurses, they go to nurse practitioner school, probably much higher. So it's very difficult. Very difficult. I made a bad joke, and I shouldn't have made a bad joke because it is important that you have to have a balance. And a lot of us that are in the medical field, we can't balance. That's why I think things like PA, nurse practitioners, physical therapists, you have a balance. My phone went off right here. My phone goes off 4 times a night. I worked for 5 years with no partners. I got maybe one weekend where I could have somebody come for me for a few hours, go eat dinner, go watch the kids play soccer. That's what kids do in Portland, do in Salt Lake City. It's hard. It's a hard life.
So would you say, I mean, I know it just depends, like case by case, but get through medical school, I mean, since we're
To get married?
starting younger, yeah, or,
I don't know.
it just depends.
It just depends. I mean, if you're that serious and you want to get married. Just don't have kids right now. I think getting through school with a kid, especially as a female, is difficult. Now, we had a bunch of people in residency would go through, and in their last year of residency, or their second year of residency, have kids. Never been cheaper to have a kid in your residency. That's why a lot of them chose to do it. But I do think that it's doable, but I would never think not to have kids. I mean, and I think if you have a child, single parents, anybody? I'm not, that's personal, I hope you have. But if you're out there, I think it's great to go to school. I mean, nursing school, I do a lot. So what I deal with is the OBGYN. 17, 15, 16. I've seen as low as 13 and 12-year-olds be pregnant. Okay. Definitely the 12-year-old will really take care of the child. But 15-year-old kids in freshman high school having babies. But you always encourage them to go ahead. And I think in that case, nursing is great. Whatever you want to do, you can still go do it. Having a child is not going to make you not do it. And I would encourage you again, if you want to, if you're going to do optometry school and you want to have kids soon, have kids. Because it's better to have them while you're going through the rough time, the first 2 or 3 years. They're not going to remember that. I just remember my kids always laughed. They said, there's 2 things stories I remember that they always say to me when I was in residency. There was at the top of the hospital working for this little sign. And my son one day would go back, well, hey, that's where Daddy lives. And there's pictures of me that I have that's on the bottom of the caption like, playing with Dad. And they're probably all about me. So that's how it is, how it was for me. Other questions? Yes, sir.
How do you feel about pharmacists?
They're very good. I like them. I do like them because they keep me out of trouble a lot of times. I think that there's a lot of laws that are changing in pharmacies and have a doctor program also. Very good program in Weatherford, Oklahoma, is a very good pharmacy program. And it's great. I think that every day I get a call from a pharmacist. You guys, and if you really like pharmacy and like medicine, we have a great pharmacist, PharmD, doctor of pharmacy. He used to around with us when we did oncology. And he'd come around and say, okay, you need chemotherapy drugs, this is what we're going to do. You need to look at this type of reactions. So very, very good. I like it. And it's a great program. Everything's going to the doctor. Everything's going to the doctor. Yeah, pharmacists, this is a lot of the reason I think it's a great program. Other questions? You all got your points tonight. Well, thank you very much. I wish you guys luck. I know I didn't help you all, but one more question.
I do have a question for you, Ed. When you were getting ready to apply for medical school, did you ever have worries and doubts about getting in and what you would do if you didn't?
Yes, I did. I was going to be a chemist. I wanted to work for Coca-Cola or everybody wanted to be a chemist or something like that. That's a true statement. I would have went back. I did research in undergrad in chemistry, organic chemistry, and so that was my passion. And when I left Rockhurst without a degree because I needed to be in Oklahoma to get in state tuition. And so they told me, we think you're going to get in, you're going to get in. But they never guarantee that spot to you. They'll never guarantee it to you. And I went down there and got in. If I wouldn't have got in, I would go back to Rockhurst and be a chemist. But that's a real situation. I'd encourage you again, last thing is what I would say, if you apply to any of your programs, you apply to medical school, CRNA, PA school is very hard to get into, by the way. any of those, and you don't get in, it's not because you weren't a great candidate. Go get some experience somewhere, find a PA that you know, that may know somebody, or a doctor that knows, and reapply. If you reapply, show persistence. Again, I go back to the people that I know. 5 years into the application process, not accepted. 5 years. 6 years accepted. It didn't change. Perseverance. Perseverance is a great thing to have. Okay? So don't give up, no matter what you do. That's how don't give up.
Oh, I like that, I know.
All right. I don't have any good jokes. Thank you guys very much.